This is the most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one, in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate.
It's going to be real hard to do without a camera, isn't it? Thank you for tapping in. It's your man, HRap. Thank you for continue to support. I lost a subscriber because I hadn't posted in a while. Thank you for tapping in. This is the End of the Bench Media. It's a few minutes with HRap. Thank you again. Hit that like, hit that share. Comment now, comment later, comment during. Do what you have to do to support the airwaves of the End of the Bench Media. I want you to tap in. This is my home. Y'all know this is my home. I'm going to show you my home. Bam, the End of the Bench. The End of the Bench.com, home of End of the Bench Media. This is a few minutes with HRap. Every day, well, up until I got sick, every day I come on and I offer my opinions about whatever, and maybe I need to center myself. Man, I'm off. Work with me. Now, thank you for tapping in, and it's important. Like, share, comment. Please do all of the above. I want to thank my parents. Without my parents, there's no me. Without me, there's no program. Without no program, you'll be doing something else. Thank you for liking and subscribing, everybody worldwide, internationally and nationally, inside and outside the community. Let's get this thing moving. All right. Build your own nation. That's the name of the thing. That's the name of the episode today. And basically, I've been off for a week, been under the weather. I apologize for being unable to post. But hey, if I don't have no voice, if I can't breathe, if I'm hot, I'm bothered, I'm not going to be any good to you. So thank you for continuing to subscribe. Now, with that being said, what I am going to talk about today is how to build your own nation. We have been trapped into this conundrum. It has been perplexing to be Black in the United States of America. And why has it been perplexing? Because at one point they sell us a dream about all of us being part of this great melting pot, and then you want to take things away from me. You want to enslave me. You know, initially indentured servitude was the order of the day. 7 years, you work off a debt, you got land, and you move forward. Then at that point, at some point after Anthony Johnson, a Black man took a white man to court. Enslavement became a permanent fixture in the United States of America. At that point, we help you win the war, you tell us lies. Civil War comes along, we win the war for you, you tell us lies, and create laws to enslave us in other ways, shape, forms, and fashions. You incarcerate us and put us in horrible situations, and Jim Crow segregation, red line, and so forth and so on. This, at some point, my brothers and sisters, whether you agree or disagree, whether you have another method or not, I would love to hear from you. Put it in the comments during and after the show. But at some point, we're going to have to realize that it's time for us to build our own singular nation inside of a nation. Other cultures in these United States have their own nation inside of a nation. It's time for us to do it. You've heard this 10,000 times. You're going to hear it 10,000 more times. But what I want us to understand is this is time now. The time is actually now. And we have regressed in this country 100 years. Yes, we have regressed 100 years. We are at the precipice of, 100 years ago, we were entering what is called the Great Depression. We had a great financial time, and then it was a 10-year period in which everybody was destitute. And then you had the 1939 to 1969, in which we were building our own situations. And then we said, hey, let's be a part of the system again. Never have we ever been a part of the system. None of the laws. When you listen to great Malcolm X, rest in peace. And when you hear him speak about things, never have we been included. So why are we always trying to include ourselves? Look, we must build. The first floor of building a nation is knowledge. Knowledge, information, history is the key. See, because life has a tripped out way of repeating itself, no matter what it is, good, bad, or indifferent. Your habits will dictate what you repeat on a regular basis. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. If you get up at the same time every day, watch your face, do some exercises, eat a good solid breakfast, whether it be fruit or vegetables or something of that nature, and then you got good fuel for your body. You'll get your metabolism moving high. You'll never gain weight. You'll never do this and this, that. And then you'll matriculate that into success, because those are positive habits. When you get up and you eat right and you pray and you exercise and you keep a positive mind frame, positive things will happen to you. If you continue to try to enter a doorway in which the people on the other side say, if you enter this doorway, we're going to treat you like trash. And then you can't get on the other side and complain that they're treating you like trash, because they've told you up front, we're going to treat you like trash. Now, we're going to bilk you for everything we can. We're going to make you feel like you're better than, but we're still going to treat you less than, and we'll even smile as we do it. And this is what we've been dealing with as Black American, Black citizens of the United States of America since its inception. So at some point, we need to look back. This is why you have a situation in this world whereas you have people who are trying to defeat healthcare, because if you're not a healthy person, you can't. Again, one of the first things I said was pray. Get your body and your mind right, and then you'll be in a mentally, spiritually, and physically healthy state of mind, and then you go on an upward trajectory. They don't want your health right. They don't want your mind right, because they want to do away with Black history. How is it that you want to do away with American history? So what I want you to do is, since everybody loves to talk about the United States of America and the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, what I want you to do is start that Revolutionary War without Christmas addicts. It doesn't happen. But it's cool to tell the story about the one brother that died first. But you don't want to talk about the brother that helped you beat smallpox, taught you immunization. You don't want to talk about the brothers that helped you, who told King George, no, we're going to go with these new rebels and we're going to help him defeat you, and then we're going to get our freedom, but never got it. You don't want to talk about those people. You don't want to talk about those brothers and sisters who helped win that Civil War and helped defeat the Confederate and help maintain the country as we know it today, because then you'll understand that you have extreme power in the worst situations. This is why history is important. Next month is Black History Month, created by a brother by the name of Carter G. Woodson. It was Black History Week to celebrate Frederick Douglass, and then it became Black History Month in the 70s. And he even said, if you can only celebrate your history in 30 days, in a month, your history isn't worth celebrating. It needs to be Black history every day, at all times, good, bad, and indifferent. I've heard people with thousands of, maybe even millions of supporters on these airwaves say, hey, Black History Month is pointless because all we learn about is the worst things that happen to us. This is raw dog, buck naked ignorance at its finest. When you say something that's stupid, which this means that you never opened a book in your entire life. That's what that means. You've never opened a book in your entire life. So this is why we need to create this nation that I'm saying. Because see, when you create a nation, what you do is you take care of me, my significant other, and our children. We will always mentally, spiritually, and physically get better. And then that will bleed off into my friends, and that will bleed off into their families. And then now you have a home, a neighborhood, a community, a city, a state, and a nation thinking correctly. And anytime you start speaking like this, people say things like pipe dreams. People say things like that never happened. And that's because, again, they don't know the history of our people overcoming in what were at the time insurmountable obstacles. So they assume that we will be straddled with this pain forever. But it's not that. That's not the case. We'll be straddled with that pain forever, or up until including the moment that we say enough. See, while people try to impose their religious views on people and their social views on people, how about this? Let's start bringing our information to each other and allow each other to digest that information. And like me, I'm a chew up the meat, spit out the bones kind of guy. I'm gonna take what I can use, and the rest of it will be sent by the wayside. One of the things that bothers me about our community, I can't speak about the women because I'm not a woman. But one of the things about the men in our community, because you struggle to get where you need to be, you think you need to make me struggle to get there. No, that's not the way to teach someone. What you do is you teach someone the struggle that you had. As you teach them about that struggle and the importance of that struggle, and then they will take your struggle and your pain, encapsulate it into their being, use that information, and go to the next level. Because because you had to lift 10,000 pounds on your back does not mean put 10,000 on my back. You teach me, never end up putting 10,000 pounds on your back. And a lot of men think, oh, well, see, I struggle, and that's how you learn because you struggle. No, that's stupid. I struggle so my lady, my children, they don't have to. And then we don't protect our people by using ignorance as a wheelbarrow to carry up a hill. No, we don't. I mean, I don't want to see any more slave movies. I had that conversation with my friends, but you need to remind, this is what's waiting on you. You may not agree with that, but I want you to understand, explaining to someone the importance of the struggle and forcing that person to go through the struggle is two different things. Communication is the key. Oh man, it ain't that important. Yes, it is. That's why every few years you get a I forgot the latest one, but the one before that was Schindler's List, and it took over the world. And there's about a year and a half ago, even a year ago, it was another movie about that very same World War II people from Germany being put in ovens and destroyed and tattooed and things of that nature by the Third Reich, aka Adolf Hitler, aka at that time the neo-Nazis. Well, they weren't even neo-Nazis; they were the Nazis. You remind your people of that struggle so they won't go through it. You know, kind of like church. Church. You don't need to be crucified to understand following these rules in accordance to your faith will get you put in a better situation. You don't need to crucify your children, just like you don't need the people who are under you, who you're educating, to struggle. They just need to understand the struggle. See, well, I learned that way. So what? That's your dumbass luck. That's your hard ass luck. Now, make it easier for somebody else, but also teach them work ethic, teach them the importance of knowing, and teach them why they need to work hard and know. But the brothers in the hood, it seems like, well, even the people who taught me think, I'm gonna teach you the hard way. No, that's stupid. Because you know what? That's an unnecessary struggle. You're already fighting a systematic racism. You're already fighting discrimination. You're already fighting just the laws of nature. So I got to fight you too. Now, you teach me my history. You teach me the importance of it. You talk to me and not at me, and then we can move forward. You talk to me, enhance my knowledge, and help me help establish a work ethic. That way, I will know the importance of working, and it will be mission accomplished because you will know. See, because if I understand that my grandfather was literally, this is a true story, was on his own at age 9, and I understand that my father was killed, I'm gonna put myself in a better situation so I won't have to be working at age 9. And I won't end up in the streets dead like my dad. Well, my dad didn't die in the streets, but it's a long story. But hey, and he wasn't a hoodlum. He was a freedom fighter. He was a revolutionary. In the event that you thought he was a thug or something. So as there are smarter ways to do these things. See my man Flat Tie said something, People see obstacles, not success. Exactly. So if you tell them this is one of the obstacles and this is how you get around it, they're saying, just do it. I've experienced it. And I'm not speaking from ignorance. I had a mentor who just used to bark orders at me. I was like, why? Because I said so. Guess who stopped playing basketball? I did. Because if you're not telling me why, I don't want to do it. I don't see the end game. But had he communicated, now, of course, at this age, I'm looking back like I shouldn't have quit, but everyone doesn't learn at your pace. And that's one of my issues with the men in this community. I was trying to teach them, but they wasn't listening, just like you, for the most part, didn't listen. Because most of us did not grow up doing the things that we dreamed about, most of us. But if we start talking to our youngsters and not at them and letting them know why and how, and then we choose partners who will enhance that instruction, then bam. So then, guess what? My delivery is, and then our partner is saying, hey, you look too hard, heavy-handed with the boy. He gets you. He looks up to you. You're destroying that. See, that's the purpose of the man and the woman in the situation, whether you're together as one or you separate being co-parents. We need to work together. See, these are the things, knowing your history is being destroyed, because when you know your history, folks, the history will carry you a very, very long way. It will. It will carry you a very, very, very long way. But we don't focus on these things. We mimic our oppressors. We mimic them in business. See, it's about the money and blah, blah, blah. No. When you're at the top, it's about money. When you're at the bottom, it's about establishing a foundation in history, creating boundaries in regards to history, creating a rule set, a cultural borders, and then building up. That's what it's about. That way, when you get to where you want to be, you have very few people veering off left and right, because you're going to have people veering off left and right. That's just the way the world works. But we also must put ourselves in an advantageous situation to where success is paramount. Being the best is the only thing, it's the only option. And finding out what we're the best at and then excelling at that. I mentioned we have to stop mimicking our oppressor. Our oppressor has duped us into believing he's going to help us in some way. You don't agree? Cool. Let's talk about this. My main man, Coach Prime. The big talk since he lost his final game of the season. His son's about to matriculate out of the University of Colorado, and these young men, they followed them from Mississippi, and they got a little extra change in their pocket, and there's a great situation. Yes, they're going to go pro, and guess what? Dion needs to go and coach his son. That, at what point in the history of the United States of America has your oppressor done anything that's advantageous to you off the top without being poked and prodded? Never. So why is everybody trying to get Coach Prime to be a professional coach? See, that's the highest level. According to who? According to who? Why is it the highest level? It's not. It's only the highest level is if you listen to the people who want to ruin your legacy. Don't ever believe that the people on the television, the people in the newspaper, the people on these podcasts who are trying to create content based on what the man has said. Why would you want to do Deion Sanders a favor? He has been one of the most portrayed as one of the most arrogant, cocky, confident people in the world. You've never seen him fail. Hey, when he was drafted, don't draft me, Detroit Lions, because I'm going to ask for so much money, you have to put me on layaway. The Falcons said, we'll give you $400,000. He said, you're going to give me $11 million. They settled on $8 million. He has not lost. Oh, y'all don't want to draft me? I'll go play for the Yankees. Then I go play for the Braves. Then I'll play the World Series. Then I'll play in the Super Bowl. I'll do it my way. Do you understand people are waiting in the weeds for this dude to fail? And the easiest way to fail is put him in a situation that eventually you will fail. Ask Bill Belichick, ask Chuck Noll, ask any of the Don Shula, any of the great coaches. They all failed and then were asked out the door of the NFL. Now, when you're an NBA, NCAA coach, college football coach, you traditionally leave on your terms when you're a good coach. We show you how much They've tricked us into believing that they want the best for Prime. They're not criticizing. Anytime you don't criticize a coach for his shortcomings, it's a problem. You understand where I'm coming from? Look at Coach Mike Tomlin. 20 years in Pittsburgh, the only coach to start his career 20-0 in regards to winning seasons. Never had a losing season. And they keep telling him, you need to leave because you keep winning. Or then they make up nonsense like, see, is it the Pittsburgh Steelers standard? Hey, I'm 54 years old. The Pittsburgh Steelers started winning when I was 4. They had a 6-year window when they won 4 Super Bowls. The 70s were wonderful to the Steelers. What did they do in the 80s and 90s? Not a darn thing. Then Bill Cowher got one in like 04, and then Mike Tomlin got one a little after that. So that means in the last 45 years, they've won twice. What's the standard? What's the standard? You can't tell me he needs a new quarterback, he needs a new offensive line, he needs weapons on the outside, he needs better weapons on the inside, he needs offensive and defensive line and playmakers. But he needs to be replaced. Or do you need to replace the people who picking the players? Because if I'm getting blood out of a turnip, you don't get mad at me for getting blood out of a turnip, not getting enough blood. You get mad at the person who's picking the turnips. I mean, that's the way I would see it. So how is it that all of a sudden you want to do the best thing for Prime? Prime will be in a lose-lose situation if he was with the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are the #1 franchise in sports in the United States of America. Dallas Cowboys, New York Yankees. When you take those jobs, it's only a matter of time before they try to get ready. Joe Torre was asked to leave. Hey, well, it's time for you to go. You just keep winning because you became bigger than the NY on that blue cap. You become bigger than that blue star, he gonna run. Jerry gonna run you out of town. You don't believe me? Ask Jimmy. So why would I go there? That doesn't enhance my legacy in any way, shape, form, or fashion. That doesn't enhance my. What it does is gives these lazy reporters something to talk about. That's what it does. It gives these lazy reporters something to talk about because now I have to do my job. Now I can talk about Coach Prime. I can talk about his son potentially coming there. I can come up with all these different scenarios. His intention with you and Jerry. And guess what else you do? You destroy the credibility of Deion Sanders because he's promised these people, fathers, mothers, aunts, uncles, grandparents, I'm going to take care of your child. So guess what? You've been hit on 2 instances. You already left Jackson, Mississippi, and people were wagging their finger at you. If you leave Colorado, they're going to call you a flat liar, bro. They're gonna destroy your name. And if you think they have your best interest, riddle me this, Batman. My main man, and I am a gigantic Deion Sanders fan, been one since he was at Florida State, Sammy Smith and Marvin Lewis and that crew. But hey, how about this, Prime? Why has nobody talked about the fact that you've been in 3 bowl games and you're 0-3? But they want you to fail upward because they destroy your credibility. This is a nation that has never been down for our cause. This is why, again, part 3 of this, why we need to control our own media. I have a very intelligent person who I truly respect tell me, look at the three of the biggest cities in the United States of America, New York, LA, and Chicago. What do they have in common? They all got black men, so they all terrible. Really? Let me see. I can't speak about Los Angeles. I never lived there. It's been so long since I was in New York. It's ridiculous. So I can't speak on the New York situation, but I'm good on the Chicago thing. I got the Chicago thing on lock. For example, my mayor, Brandon Johnson, rookie guy. He's new to the whole political situation. But I also understand Chicago is a corrupt city from top to bottom, from dirt to the clouds. And all the wind that blows around. Y'all think the windy city means the weather? No, that's the smoke that the politicians blow up your behind. That's the wind that they're speaking of. With that being said, let's go back to mayors, because I'm not going to hit on Lori Lightfoot because she had a 4-year period. But we are going to talk about Mayor Rahm Emanuel. Rahm Emanuel, the same dude who hid police officers assassinating, murdering. Assassination is too cute. Murdering a young brother in the streets. He hid it. He hid it. He built in police brutality into the city budget. That's worse than Brandon Johnson. That's worse than they dug a hole. It's just like with Barack Obama. They dug him the deepest hole in 100 years and said, get out of it. Now, if you fail, you're an idiot. If you succeed, so what? We're going to do everything we can to get rid of you anyway. Win or lose, you still lose and knows the rules. And let's go back to mayor before that. Richard Daley. Richard Daley, do you know how much money is generated in a city with over 3 million people in it with parking meters in the city of Chicago? That's a lot of money. And the former mayor of Chicago sold the right or leased the rights for 75 years, 60 to go. 75 years for the parking meters here in Chicago. That's worse. Everybody in his cabinet, just about everybody in his little inner circle, political inner circle, went to jail. He didn't. And he took that money and went to Florida. Well, he lays up with his young black girlfriend and he's scot-free. But Brandon Johnson is the worst mayor in the history of Chicago. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? You had a mayor who was part of a situation that sent people in a room to murder Fred Hampton. So help me understand how that's worse than the few missteps of a young politician. I'm not excusing anybody in my community for any mistakes that they make. But when we make these broad, sweeping statements that the brothers and the sister out of LA, well, she shouldn't have, look, knock it off. Nobody's perfect. But I'm quite sure the mayor who swept all that police violence under the rug that made people like Ice-T and Ice Cube and anybody else and from the Los Angeles rap Cam, anybody else from the rap community who complained about police brutality. What about those mayors that swept that under the rug? What about the people who stood by and watched cocaine and military grade weaponry to be pushed on the streets of Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York? They're not worse than these three mayors. Mayor Adams in New York, Mayor I can't think of her name right now. I want to call her Muriel, but that's the former DC mayor, the mayor in LA, and the mayor here in Chicago. See, we hold ourselves to these insane standards. We can't make mistakes. Yes, we can, because we're human beings. Don't let nobody tell you can't make a damn mistake. Are you kidding? But meanwhile, you got mayors allowing people to get shot in the street, governors who are running the poorest states in the United States of America with the worst academic situations in the United States of America. Why is it that we can talk about Mayor Johnson, Harris, and Mayor Adams, but we don't talk about the mayor in Baltimore where crime has been reduced because he was allowed to do his thing and the people of his city were behind him and doing everything they can to get behind him. See, Baltimore is the blueprint, but we're not going to talk about Baltimore. That's why you need to support me. That's why you need to comment when this is over. That's why you need to come in and talk to me. That's why you need to subscribe. That's why we need to engage, because we can create instances in which we will create an entity and we will identify the problems. Everybody who's listening to this lives somewhere. And you know the problems of the people that live where you live. And you can come together with those people. It can start off with 4 of y'all. Then it's 8. Then it's 28. Then it's 35. Then it's 135. And now you have a situation. You don't have to label it the Black Panther this and the Blue Panther, the black this and black that and the Negro this and the what you can call it is people in your community who are tired of getting left behind. People in the community who are tired of paying tithes to these churches, and these churches are not used as hubs to centralize the issues in the community. And when you centralize the issues in the community inside your church, then you come up with people and solutions. People who could come fix those solutions, and people who are behind those people. And then you can become self-governing, and then you can reclaim your time, as they say. See, we got people on TV threatening our sister Jasmine Crockett because it's not a fear that you might get physically dealt with. I'm not asking anybody to do any violence, but I'm just saying, if you are speaking like that young sister Crockett, she needs to have the backing of the brothers and sisters of the community and people know them. We got you, Jeremy. See, they pay attention to us on social media. And that's why lies are cool on Facebook again. It's okay for me to go on Facebook and say, Dr. King is back. It was all a hoax. I could post that on Facebook now. No more fact checking. Why do you want to live in a world where lies are okay? Because chaos is what this country is built on. See, you control this order amongst chaos. If I have everybody going in all these different directions, and I'm sitting in the middle of the hurricane, I got control, and everybody else is going crazy. But if we tap into the end of the bench meeting, we tap into Brother Roland Martin, we tap into other entities who are presenting factual things and serious things, look, then the chaos calms down. And then you realize who your true enemy is. In closing, realize what's going on in front of you. Wallow and Gilly used to be extremely jovial, and that their thing was hilarious. And they were the #1 podcast in the world. A tragedy happened in their young brother, in their brother Gilly's family. Son was murdered. They toned it down a bit. Now they're talking about sensible things. And they're not so hot. My man Mace and Cam, they have a ball. But a lot of that stuff is chaos driven. And I'm not knocking that, because they're presented as pure entertainment. They do a lot of laughing and joking, and now they're on top. In the event that they ever get serious, they're going to fall. DJ Academics is a millionaire now because he's willing to ruin someone's name on a rumor. Why is it that chaos rise to the top? The housewife shows at the top of the food chain. We don't see, other shows. It's hard to get a black show on, but you know what? If we start doing like our young brother Country Wayne, salute to Wayne Carley, and other brothers and sisters like the brother Big John, they have a good time on there. And if you start creating content on your own and we start supporting, we don't have to worry about that. That's why I ask you guys again, support, subscribe, share, and help me continue to grow, because I'm going to continue to get you the people, the commentary, and I'm going to continue to do what I got to do. With that being said, we must control the narrative in our community and support the people who are giving us the narrative in our community. Meaning, again, know the history. Do you know who Pauli Murray is? I want you to look into who Pauli Murray is. It's important who you know who that woman is. One of the greatest legal minds in the history of the United States of America. You need to know who Thurgood Marshall is. Let's find out who that woman is. See, once you realize, we start introducing our young ladies to the Pauli Murrays of the world. We start introducing our brothers to the Whitney Youngs of the world. See, there's more black people, more black accomplished men than Dr. King and Malcolm X. Introduce your child to Whitney Young. Introduce your child to Ralph Bunche. Introduce your child to a bunch of other people in the community. See, when they see that greatness, they'll rise to that greatness. You ain't got to jump, throw, shoot, pass, block, swing, and do that things to be successful. You can sit down and do this and be successful and make the money that a lot of those people on TV are making. See, it's cool to make $8 million over a 4-year period, and then you might not have the skills to do this, or you can make $800,000 for 25 years, or even more. So this is why I'm saying we can no longer sit around and wait on people to do right by us. We're going to do right by us. I respect everybody's point of view. I respect everybody's life. But what we're not going to do is allow people to say, we don't like black women. We don't like black men. Our children are no good. And we're not going to talk about our history. We're going to celebrate our elders. We're going to uplift our children. We're going to protect our women. And we're going to come together as brothers. With that being said, for the first time in a long time, I'm going to be able to say this. See you tomorrow. 2 fingers, 1 word. It's your man HRap, and
And it is necessary for those people who rule over us and who rule over African people the world over, if those people are to stay in power, they must destroy our ability to love each other in a healthy sort of way. This is why